Seems how disappointing was that one?
Yeah, it's really disappointing. Yeah, very. Yeah, with everything on the line with regard to our season, like to perform like that, which was way below our best, was disappointing. I know we've lost a couple of games in a row before this week, but I felt as though we weren't a million miles away, particularly the last 2 weeks, and that was a big, massive step back for us, and yes, it's disappointing.
The obvious question will be why? Why come up with that performance with so much on the line, as you just said?
We had a good preparation. We come off the back of a really tough month of footy, where we played 3 of the top 4 teams, it's taken a fair bit of juice out of us, but we feel like we have prepared pretty well. Unfortunately, we're probably seeing, missing some of our key guys, particularly, some of our bigger bodies. Like I felt as though we got beaten up in the middle today, so probably just seeing the impact of that. So it's disappointing. Like that's it.
I know technically you can still get to 30 points, but do you feel like today was the day the finals slipped from your grasp?
Oh, look, it's going to be tough now. We're relying on other results, right? So, you're hoping, aren't you? And hope's not a great strategy, I've got to say. So, we've got to dust ourselves off and go again next week. It's Jez's 350th game next week, so there's a lot to play for. We're playing back at 4 Pines, so as I said, it's been pretty rough last month after a great win away against the Storm, and we had ourselves well entrenched in the final. So the last month's really been disappointing for us, and that's our worst performance for a long time. Yeah.
Daly, when you have such a long and successful career as you've had, you have your highs and you have the lows, but you look particularly disappointed after this one. Just talk to us about that level of disappointment from yourself there at full time.
Yeah, I think you sort of touched on it, and Siebes did as well. We're now hoping to make the finals, which is not where you want to be. So it's probably just the realisation that we're, it's going to be hard to get there this year. So that's obviously what everyone wanted, not just me. Everyone at the club wanted that. So it's always tough when you work so hard and don't get what you want.
Anthony, what's the latest on Ruben Garrick?
Yeah, he gets a scan tomorrow, but it doesn't look great, to be fair. Obviously, you would have seen the replays. He's got his shoulder in an awkward position. He hurt a crack, so it doesn't look great. Yeah.
Expecting season over for him at this
stage? I'd say so. Yeah, we just hope that it's not too serious that it then eats into the pre-season and the start of next season. So but it doesn't look great, to be fair.
Doug, I know you said everyone at the club wanted to play finals footy, but it's obviously your last year there at the club, and it would have been the way you wanted to go out. So that personal realisation that won't happen, how much is that personally taking a toll on you at the moment?
I don't know if toll's the right word, but initially, after the game and still right now, there's a bit to process. You've been here for so long, and like I said, been a part of the club for a long time, got a lot of love for this place, so I definitely wanted to finish with a finals campaign, but that's obviously looking really unlikely now. So just the realisation of that's probably why I look so disappointed after the game. But as I've done throughout my career, I'll dust myself off and get ready for next week's game.
Felt like the harder you tried, not just you, but the team today, the harder you tried, the sort of almost like the worse things went.
A couple of the boys said just then as we walked back in, we just couldn't get the rub of the green, we just didn't get the footy gods smiling on us today. So, it's disappointing, but again, we've got 3 games, and I'd love to see us stop this 4-game slide, get back in the winner's circle and finish with some positives.
How do you think you're handling the focus at the moment, for the attention and the way the team's going?
The best I can.
You think you're happy with how you're handling it from that perspective?
Just to be clear, so I can differentiate them, definitely not happy with us losing 4 in a row, especially today's result. That's obviously hit pretty hard, and everything else, to be honest with you, I'm doing the best I can and feeling like I can hold my head up high.
Siebes, can I ask you about, you mentioned the middles who are missing today. There was some talk Taniela may get back at some point, and Jake, have you got an update on where Jake's?
Oh, well, the only update that I know about Jake is he won't play next week, and then we'll get further medical advice. We won't be rushing Jake back. He's had 3 or 4 concussions over the last 12 months. So his well-being comes before footy by a massive distance. So, look, I don't want to talk for Jake, and I don't want to talk for the medical staff, but I know that he definitely won't be playing next week. And then we need to make sure that we then reassess and look at where he's going. With regards to Taniela, look, there's a possibility of him being available for round 27, but there's no New South Wales Cup game that weekend. If we're not in the contention for finals, then we'll consider whether it's the right thing to do to play him. But yeah, we've got no one coming back to save us over the next few weeks. I said maybe yesterday or something like that. We sort of had 7 of what potentially we thought would be first choice forwards unavailable at present. So but the expectation is that the guys who pull on the jersey do a job. So that's not an excuse. Our group today, we beat Melbourne a month ago. Same group of players. So it's not an excuse. When we're at somewhere near our best, we can compete with anyone, but we were way off today and we lost the battle, and that's reality. That's the harsh truth. We lost the battle there in the middle. I can bullshit, but that's where we lost it. And so, that's disappointing.
So just your view on the Taylor May try where he runs in behind Samuel Fainu for a period with Tom coming defensively. It's not your classic rugby league obstruction play. It's almost like an NFL blocking manoeuvre. Did you have a view on the legality of that try or otherwise?
That try, Matty, I think, there's no point in me making any comment. It was a try. We had an opportunity, potentially to save it or whatever before it got to that point. So that's probably what I'm looking at, not at Turbo. He probably was obstructed there a little bit, but they made a line break and they deserved to score there probably. Yeah.
Good. Thanks, guys.
Cheers. Cheers.